Today on Vaping with Thesis, everything you need to know about tank. Welcome to Up Close and Personal with your boy Thesis. Now real quick, bitches, today we've got the Battlestar Baby. I cannot stand the fact that these companies are still using the word baby in their product descriptions. I don't enjoy it, don't like it, not a fan. That's besides the point. Let's just kind of go ahead and dive into it, motherfuckers. Big shout out to Smoant for sending this bad boy out. They only sent one, unfortunately. However, they did send out an extra tank. So I'm going to keep this tank, which already got a pre-installed 0.6 mesh ohm coil. Set that aside. That will be going into the Patreon drawing, this whole system, whole setup. That's why I'm not going to be super mean to this one until I try to take the sticker off. So inside of the box, we've got this Smoant sample only. It's a test kit. Swagger lumps, fist it with your fingers, throw it out like that. Bam, sauce. Oh shit. Open her up. Gorgeous. Now this is one of those things where I really enjoy. It kind of brings an X factor into the product, and that's going to be these little black envelopes that a lot of products are coming with now. Now when I first saw this whole situation, this lanyard thing, I just thought that was a marketing gimmick in terms of a lanyard being a micro USB-C. I didn't actually think it worked, and it fucking works. I enjoyed the shit out of that. This kit is almost worth purchasing, especially if you're sort of semi into this style of vape anyway, just for that lanyard kit. Stick it back inside, make it nice for the next person who's going to receive this. Now on the bottom of the box, we've got this Type-C plus coil, and that's where you're going to find your spare coil setup along with your lanyard slash Type-C setup. This is so, oh shit, I did not realize. So the next person to get this kit is going to have a full set of coils. Dope. Set this one in with this one. I'll kind of stick that inside of this box when I'm finished. This is something I want to keep. I do not want to give this away. This is a legitimate charging cable, USB-C charging cable. Pop this out. There's a little button that you kind of depress, and it seems fairly well built, although this is going to be your average, everyday, chintzy-ass Chinese plastic. Nothing special about this. It's not quote-unquote polycarbonate or anything along those lines. I don't like the fact that this is not connected to the lanyard itself, because I will end up by losing this, even when I decide to purchase one of these, because I will purchase one of these, like I said, off of Scamazon or somewhere. I'm sure they make more than just this one. What's kind of cool right here is you get to see since 2013, and this is something where at first I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Who the fuck is vaping with a lanyard and then wants to measure some shit? However, I thought about myself. I'm constantly in the shop. I'm constantly building stuff out of wood. Like this right here, this beautiful little platform is built by yours truly. This is a genuinely cool fucking thing. Now, problem is I usually don't measure in centimeters. I'm always measuring in inches. But yeah, that is kind of cool. I enjoy the shit out of that. So, first impressions of this little device. There are a million different options you have out there in terms of a pod system. This is one of the best feeling devices in terms of its girth, its heft. It does not feel like a shitty piece of plastic. Most companies out there are not willing to give you the highest amount of quality in terms of the way it feels, especially coming to weight. Smoant being Smoant, they killed it. They fucking hit the nail on the head. 88.7 grams. Let's find something that's comparable to this. Here's a me pod, or my pod, however you want to say it. Set that right there on top. 32. Literally close to a third. Granted, it also depends on what it is you're looking for. Myself, I'm impressed with heft. I like hefty shit. I like things to be a little bit more on the heavier side, more than I do something that's being light. Mostly because I tend to gravitate towards things that feel, I guess, I don't want to say high end, but higher quality. A good example is this EH Pro right here. This is the Cold Steel, one of my favorite dual 18650 devices of all time. No, it's not the most quote-unquote advanced. No, it's not necessarily even the prettiest device out there. It's heavy and it feels nice. I've dropped this so many times on the concrete in the shop that I probably couldn't count them to you. Motherfucker. Bam, set this on top of here. 371 grams, just to give you an example. Let me show you a single battery device. Now here's another good example of a single battery device that I'm in love with. Again, EH Pro Cold Steel. This one's by Ambitions Vapor. This one's actually by Nebelfi out in Germany. Big shout out to him. This is a single 21700 battery with the barrage sitting on top, already dripped, 296 grams. So in comparison, this thing is minute. I believe the actual word they use in the description is diminutive. This feels like a very high quality piece. Now that was me taking the long route in order to get to this point. If you're going to take the time to make something feel as nice as the Battlestar Baby feels, then for me, I believe you should take the time and actually make the pod system worth vaping. The flavor is there, the power is there, 15 watts in total with the 0.6 ohm mesh, and then 10 watts in total with the 1.2 NI80 coil. The power, phenomenal. The flavor, great. The hit and the airflow is extremely subpar. It's not something that makes you want to go back for more. The flavor of my liquid makes me want to go back for more, but that's about it. Let's go and take a puff and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. In terms of an MTL, that's extremely wispy. If this was just a hair smaller in terms of inner diameter on this chimney, it'd be a completely different experience. This one's going to be direct to lung. Beautiful. A lot less wispy, a little bit more cloud. The flavor, again, is there, but in terms of a Nic Salt device, a device that was meant specifically for Nic Salt, it's just not there for me. Pod system of this size really should be for an MTL vapor and a higher resistance atomizer, mostly because of battery life. 750 milliamp hours sounds like a lot, and it's a decent amount for this specific system, but 15 watts on the 0.6 ohm mesh, I was only getting 4 hours. And for me, 4 hours is just not long enough in order to consider this a daily vape, in my opinion. It looks great, it feels great. At the end of the day, my experience with this is lackluster, mostly because of that MTL status. I want that MTL coil to have a lot tighter draw. If you're into direct to lung style vaping, this is going to be for you. You're going to enjoy it. But again, 4 hours is just not long enough. Right here, you're going to see the pressure switch on the right hand side. Go up to the top and you're going to see that hole. That is exactly where the pressure switch is located, and that is where that inlet connects to. Right here at the bottom, you see your both contacts. Here's kind of an issue I had with this device, long-term status. That liquid at the base can be problematic, especially if you're going to have that leak into the rest of the system. I'm not a fan of any leakage, especially in a pod system. 2 milliliters doesn't seem like a lot of liquid, but believe me, it's definitely a lot when you're having to clean it out with a Q-tip. I can't stand that shit. Now, aside from that, the pressure switch on this has never gone off. It's never auto-fired. So in terms of it having a safety switch on that chip, it's fine. Now, in the description, it says there's a slide to fill system. It's not. It's just a rubber stopper. So this is exactly where you're going to fill your liquid. You have this smallish inlet right there. I wish there was a secondary hole, mostly for the escape of air. When you're filling a tank of this size, especially something this small, when I go to put the liquid in that hole, it does tend to bubble out. So you are going to get a little bit of seepage of that liquid. Seepage is such a gross fucking word. You're going to get seepage. That's the only way to say it. It's going to leak a little bit on the sides. It's not going to leak from this port as you're using it, but you do get that bubble up and gurgle of liquid that's coming out that hole because there's no air outlet. So with that said, keep that in mind when you're filling it. Be careful. I'm going to pop this to the side like that. And the only reason why I'm not refilling it as we speak is because it's going to be a waste of liquid. Simple as that. You're going to slide it back into the magnetic slot, and there is a correct polarity. You want this rubber grommet facing the outside or the exterior of the mod. Bam, pop it in. It's magnetic. It is fairly tight once that reservoir is inside of there, so I'm not worried about it. LED indicator right there for the battery. Let's go and take a puff to see where it's at. Beautiful. It's on the blue level. Perfect. Now, in terms of this being stickers, it is stickers, but it's done really well. They did a great job. It fits beautifully. It's not something like where the artery nugget, for example, was already falling off when I took it out of the box. Mostly because this was simply not placed in the correct position in the factory. Smoant did a beautiful job, and that's kind of indicative of the quality overall, in my opinion. You feel me? Bitch, it's okay, Smother Truckers. Now, with that being said, let's go and get back to regular review, son. My final summation is this. The baby... The Smoant Battlestar baby is not that great. At the end of the day, all of the cool stuff like the zinc alloy, the sweet lanyard, the dope ass fucking, you know, the little swirly poos. Why does it keep doing that? Not trying to do this, guys. I apologize. There it goes. At the end of the day, all of those things combined is great. The problem is that the performance is the only thing lacking. It just so happens that the performance is the most important part of the vape. You know what I mean? I can give a fuck what it looks like, because when I'm sitting there, wow, we are just... This is just, I'm new. I feel like I'm new. I'm just learning how to operate a camera for the first time. All of those cool things about this device, the zinc alloy, everything, it feels heavy. The battery life is okay, but the battery life with the 4 hours, you know, at 0.6 ohms, the mesh, it tastes great. The power is decent enough to where I think I could use it if it had better MTL status, but it just doesn't. The reservoir itself is a pretty ingenious style reservoir. It's rectangular in shape, 2 mils, just under. If you include this little tip up here, like right here where that liquid sits, it's about 2 mils. The problem is that the liquid tends to stay up there for whatever reason. It just kind of, like you can kind of see it up here. Even when it's like this, you've probably got close to a 1/4 mil to a 1/2 mil that just sits up there. That's never coming down. It's just not. After cleaning this tank, I feel like it wasn't switching flavors. Just like any other tank, you're gonna have to wash it really well. Not with soap, but just nice hot water. No matter how much I washed it, the menthol taste, that mint taste that I had in the original tank that I've actually got back in it, just kind of stuck around. It's almost impossible to wash out these small tanks. No fault of the tank itself, no fault of Smoant. A lot of tanks of this size, especially with this material, it just tends to hold on to those flavors longer than I would like them to in comparison to, say, something like glass or Pyrex. The flavor and the power is just spectacular. So the fact that that's 10 watts and I'm getting enough flavor, that says a lot about these actual coils. The wicking on it never got a gurgle, never got a dry hit. Did have a little bit of leakage. It's not a huge deal because I had it sitting for like, you know, a few weeks. All of those things combined, the performance just does not hold up the price tag of between 30 and 40 bucks depending on which website you go to. Simply put, I would just hold out or I would purchase myself a Smoant Pasito. It's just overall a better device and also looks cool. Also, it's rebuildable at the same time. In fact, I would say it is spot on the exact same as a Mi Pod. You can get away with a little bit more of an MTL with this, but it's close enough to where it makes no difference. Beautiful. Bitch, it's okay, Mother Truckers. Now, with that being said, I want to tell you that I appreciate you for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis. I'm out.